Us on the Lake Area Chalk Talk, the only TV sports show here at Lake of the Ozarks. Coming up on the program today, we'll talk it over with Camdenton Laker head football coach Jeff Shore. Also, we'll talk it over with Osage cross country coach Miriam Hill. But first, as always, let's take a look at what happened this past week on the high school gridiron here in the Lake area. First of all, in the Tri-County Conference, the Indians of Osage clinched the Tri-County Conference with a 35-14 win over California. We'll explain the clinching of the conference coming up. Blair Oaks over Versailles by a 35-27 score. Eldon big over Warsaw 48-12. So after 6 weeks of the regular season in the Tri-County Conference, Osage on top with a 6-0 record, 4-0 in the conference. Blair Oaks 5-1 overall, 3-1 in the conference. So even with Blair Oaks beating Eldon this week, and if Warsaw would pull the unlikely upset over Osage, both teams, the Indians and the Falcons, would be 4-1. Osage beat Blair Oaks, so they would be the Tri-County Conference champions. If Eldon would run the tables and beat Blair Oaks, they could finish with a 4-1 record, Osage finishing 4-1. However, the Indians beat the Mustangs, so once again, the Indians have the Tri-County Conference. Versailles down below, 4-2 overall, 1-2 in the conference. California with a 3-3 record, 1-2 in the conference. The Wildcats are winless, 0-6 and 0-4. The Osage Indians, the Tri-County Conference champions. Over in the Ozark Conference, taking a look at the scores, the Camdenton Lakers trying to get back on the right track with a 54-30 win over West Plains. Kickapoo knocked off Lebanon. Hillcrest over Waynesville. Rolla defeated Joplin. Glendale over Springfield Central. And it was Willard over Parkview. Taking a look at the conference standings in the Ozark Conference, at the top, Hillcrest with a 4-0 record, 5-1 overall. Kickapoo also 5-1 with a 5-1 mark in the league. Glendale and Lebanon coming in third and fourth, 4-1. Camdenton and Parkview in the middle of the pack with 2-3 records overall in the conference, 2-4 for the season. Waynesville, Rolla, Joplin all 2-4 in the conference, and the West Plains Zizzers coming in with an 0-6 mark. That is how we stand after 6 weeks of high school football here in the Lake area. Coming up when we return on the Lake Area Chalk Talk, Jeff Shore from the Camdenton Lakers. Bootlegger Sportsbook and Grill in the Stonecrest Mall. Osage Beach is the sports headquarters at the lake with more than 20 flat screens with every game on. Home of Bootlegger's Idol every Thursday at 8 p.m. Also home of Dueling Pianos every Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. www.bootleggersgrill.com or call 573-348-1443. Bootlegger Sportsbook and Grill.
Welcome to Quick Car Wash Detail and Lube, now open in Osage Beach. Quick Car Wash Detail and Lube offers exterior and interior cleaning, detail, and preventative maintenance services for your vehicle. Choose from 4 exterior washes from $8 to $14 to interior services for $8 or $12 and details beginning at $30. For your convenience, every wash is done with you never having to get out of your car. If you choose to have the inside of your car cleaned, each service is done quickly while you wait in our lobby. Quick Car Wash Detail and Lube specializes in full-service oil changes, tire rotations, and many other services to keep your vehicle running properly. Every oil change comes standard with Pennzoil 530 or 520. In addition to premium oil, you'll also receive an exterior car wash absolutely free. Quick Car Wash Detail and Lube, now open in Osage Beach. Drive in dirty and in minutes, drive away clean. Quick Car on Highway 54 in Osage Beach, just down the street from Hy-Vee.
And welcome back to the Lake Area Chalk Talk. Joining us in the studio now, Coach Jeff Shore, the head coach of the Camdenton Lakers. And Coach, a win over West Plains, most people figured it would be. Your thoughts on the game?
Just a great night for the Lakers. You know, game we needed. We played. We did play very well, fortunately, and a lot of kids played. I think every kid on the team got to play. So it was a good homecoming night. And Corey Simpson threw 6 touchdown passes on the night. So that was a special night for him as well.
Oh, I bet. Now, even though it was the winless West Plains, still, how important was it for the general psyche of the Lakers?
Oh, I think it was a real positive for us. You know, we came out really ready to play, and we're hitting on all cylinders. And it just one of those games we really needed, especially after a few of the close games we'd had and hadn't come through. And so it was a great night for us, and like I said, a great night for a homecoming crowd, and all our kids get to play.
Other than the district schedule coming up, I imagine right now every game is the most important game of the year.
Yeah, it's coming down to the end, so you want to be playing your best football at this point in time, and that's what we hope to be doing.
The team injury-free, or how are they doing coming out of the game?
Doing very well on injuries. Came out of that game very healthy, so going into this last game before district, we've got everybody healthy and ready to go.
Joplin, a team that is coming out of the tornado, they have every reason in the world to play inspired football. How you keep the Lakers inspired back at them?
It'll be their homecoming, so that'll be exciting too. It'll be a full crowd, and that's always fun to play in front of, no matter if you're away or at home. So I think we've got a goal to finish the rest of the season right. So I think our kids will be excited and come out and play hard.
We're going to talk about the feeder program for Camdenton coming up in just a few moments. But as far as the Lakers are concerned, kind of swamify for us. Look into that crystal ball for districts. What do you see happening?
Well, Sedalia is our first round opponent, and their record is similar to ours. I think they're 3-3. Haven't seen much of them on film yet, so that'll be that's toss up. It'll be there, and field conditions could play a factor in that. They have grass field. I don't think it's in real great shape, so we hope for dry weather. And then the second round will be Rolla, and Rolla's been playing better as of late, kind of like us. They seem to be coming on late in the season. And then Waynesville's got a lot of speed. They're throwing the ball a lot, and they look very formidable as far as being able to throw the football. So they'll all be tough games. We'll prepare for them, and we hope we can come out on top.
Let's kind of go off the topic of the varsity program for a few minutes here and talk about the ninth grade, the JV, and the feeder program in general for Camdenton.
Our JV's had a tremendous season going. They've lost one game, and our freshmen are undefeated, and our 7th and 8th grade are doing very well. And we even had the 5th and 6th grade program that was started a while back. All those go along with all the Lakers stuff. They use our numbering system. They use our fundamentals on defense, offense, passing game, same thing. So that's been a big key to our success throughout the years, is getting those guys doing the same things that we do. And I've got tremendous coaches all the way down through.
I was going to say, you do the 5th and 6th grade program, correct?
Yeah, I coach my son plays, so I'm double duty this year. Craig Silvers, Mary Libby, and Michelle Norris started that program a while back, and what's been a real benefit to us. And like I said, all the coaches in that program use our system. So when those kids get to 7th grade, they've got a little bit of a jump or a head start, you'd say, on the things they need to know as Lakers.
And the 5th and 6th grade program, it's pretty much the equivalent of OFL if you're an Osage fan. So, it has a good program, a lot of practice, learn the fundamentals. And, usually as a coach on a higher level, you can pretty much tell who's going to be emerging, can't you?
Yeah, the thing about the 5th and 6th grade program is you want to make sure, those kids aren't developed. You want to make sure that they, you don't get a little kid against a big kid, and he gets a bad taste in his mouth, for football, because, they're still not developed yet. They're growing and maturing. And so our main goal is to get them some experience, and hopefully it's a good experience. We want them to come back out and try it again the next year.
Now, obviously, as head coach of the varsity program and having the 5th and 6th graders, your time is very much limited with trying to have a family life as well. How much actual contact is there with, say, like the 9th grade team, which is kind of in between your two programs?
we go watch every Monday night, that they're at home. I obviously go watch them play and interested in them. And, the neat thing is I actually taught them elementary PE for a long time, so I actually know most of those kids all the way through. So we try to get out and see our other guys as much as possible. There'll be a junior high, I think, B game tonight. We'll be at that. I love watching future Lakers play, and so the rest of the coaches.
I know we talked about the contact between them, and you're watching the kids. Is it more a combination of you're looking at ability and who's going to be stepping up?
No, really, when we go, it's there to support them, root them on. And sure, you look at, different kids and think, as this kid gets older, how's he going to progress and things like that. But we've got so many kids in the program that have just stayed with it through and through and have become players that you don't ever write a kid off. They all are. You want them to stay in there and work, and kids develop, and that's why we've been able to be successful over the years. Is not necessarily having more talent than other people, but developing those kids and working hard.
I was going to say there's also a lot of pride when it comes to having that Laker uniform on, and I'll tell you what, it's kind of a funny story. When we walked out, or when I walked out after grabbing the helmet so we could use it on the set, I had just about every eye in the building looking at me like, who's that guy carrying out our helmet? I was like, is he worthy of touching our helmet? And there's a lot of pride being a Laker.
There is, and that's the great part about it, and there truly is. And a quick story that I don't know if I've told before, but the Sean Hill, who's the quarterback of the Detroit Lions now, was down practicing during camp, and Forrest Schock, who's a previous player here at Camden, I asked the boys, some seventh graders, if they knew who that guy was, and they thought, well, that's Forrest Schock. I said, no, that's Sean Hill from the Detroit Lions. They're like, well, we want to meet Forrest Schock. He played for the Lakers. So, those young kids look up to those older guys, and that's neat. I like that part of it.
Do you ever have it where the older kids on the varsity squads will go down and maybe spend a day or two with the kids on 5th or 6th grade? Or
we do some of that, and also we had our all school parade, which is kind of neat, and those football players giving those kids all the way from kindergarten to 6th grade, 7th grade high fives and supporting them. And many of our high school players go down and support the freshmen when they're at home, or even the junior high kids. So yeah, it's one big family there, and that's the way you want it.
I was going to say, there's nothing like that small town spirit, is there?
Nothing like it. Nothing like small town high school football, and it's really a one of a kind type thing.
What kind of game this weekend again against Joplin? Another Laker victory, correct?
That's the plan. That's the plan. Like I said, they'll be they throw the ball pretty well and run it. They'll be fired up for their homecoming. It'll be an exciting atmosphere, and we're definitely excited about playing, and especially after coming off last week's win.
I was going to say, we already talked about the importance of every game right now, and after beating West Plains, the record 2-4 versus 1-5. The difference right there is exponential, in that it only takes 2 games now to get back to that 500 versus 4 games.
Right, and and we've tried to, as much as we want to have that record good, we've tried to kind of put that out of our mind a little bit. We've played some good football and played some good football teams, and have come up just a little short. So our kids have done a really good job of staying focused and really having a great attitude. I really appreciate that from them, and putting forth a ton of effort. We had our best practice of the year last Wednesday after coming off a loss and being 1-4. So they're going to give it their all, and I think we'll wind up playing our best football here at the end.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where is the team right now, with 10 being the best?
That's a good question. I think we're about on a 7 probably. We definitely have some room to improve, and we want to get up there, in that 8, 9, hopefully 10 range. By the time that first district game approaches. But I think this game it's an important game for us. It'll tell us a lot of where we're at and how we're kind of coming into this district. So we want to try to really come out and play a good one on Friday night.
Most people don't know, and I haven't put the graphic up all season during the program, but I kind of did my little imitation of Swami before the season began. And as far as the conference is concerned, I had Waynesville up there pretty much higher than they are right now. And of course, I had to pick Camdenton so I could be the homer with the hometown team. But is it surprising you right now how it's shaping out?
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of an odd year, I think we're the team that's played everybody pretty close, but you'll have a Glendale who's really dominated the conference, and then they, have a close ball game that you don't expect. And yeah, it is kind of an odd year. And us not being really in the thick of the race as far as that goes, we've kind of lost our focus on that. We're pointing more towards districts.
I was going to say, really, okay, conference is a nice feather, but ultimately it's weeks number 8, 9, and 10. And then, of course, next year when the playoff format changes, it's a whole new game.
Right, and you hit the nail on the head there. The playoffs is what we're, that's our goal. That's what we're trying to get to. So, obviously the conference, we'd like to win those games, and that's, we're disappointed in not winning those. But we're to the point now where, our focus has got to be on the playoffs.
Sounds good, Coach. Thanks for taking the time again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach Jeff Shore from the Camdenton Lakers. Coming up when we return, we'll talk it over with Miriam Hill, the actual head coach for cross country over at Osage. You're watching the Lake Area Chalk Talk on Lake TV, Channel 32.
All right, agents, what do we got?
An older guy picked up a young girl at a local bait shop, wanted to impress her, so they went for a spin. Too much throttle coming out of a figure eight, lost control, ramped off a dock, ended up in a tulip poplar.
Okay.
I'd suggest adding a watercraft policy to their overall insurance plan.
One that includes collision and passenger liability.
Very good. Moving on.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Hi, I'm Chris Wagner. Come visit me in Osage Beach for all your insurance needs. Farmers Insurance, helping you with anything in the playbook since 1928.
Back on the Lake Area Chalk Talk, we're talking over now with Coach Miriam Hill, the head coach of the Osage Cross Country program. And Coach, how's the team looking right now?
Pretty strong. We had an opening meet in Jeff City, and we experienced a lot of heat there. But since then, even though the times, they did extremely well considering the heat, but since then we've seen some continual improvements, a lot of PRs by different runners, and we're slowly closing that gap between our 1 and 5 runner, which is really important to be able to do.
I can say we're a little bit more than halfway through the season, and despite the success so far, is the team where you would want it to be?
Actually, yes, it is. We went into the Camdenton meet, which the boys won this past week in the Purple Division, and we went into that meet tired, considering all the homecoming activities, and we had a short day on Wednesday, so we had to do just an early morning practice. We ended up having to do a lot of morning practices last week, and didn't get some of our full evening practices in. So I was a little bit concerned about where they'd be as far as that meet would go. And I let them know that they were going to be tired, and I wanted them to race tired, and so that we didn't start peaking too early, because it is somewhat of a flatter course, so it can be a really fast course. And we want to save our peaking once we get to the October, and as far as districts go. So I thought they did exceptionally well, considering the lack of sleep they've had the past week. Homecoming game Friday night, most of them were there. We had homecoming dance. So it was a late night for some of them, even though most of them didn't stay, the entire time. But they all ran exceptionally well then on Saturday. So I think we're pretty much where we want to be right now.
And what time do they have to be up and at the school on Saturday?
Well, this Saturday was nice. We didn't have to meet till 8 o'clock, but normally it's between 4 and 5 in the morning. So it's, because we have a lot of 3 to 4 hour drives.
As far as the team is concerned overall, talk about both teams.
As far as our girls go, right this year we do not have a full team. We had one. We had a team member that just recently quit, but so we really only have 4 girls on the girls' side. Individually, though, it's been exciting to see their improvement, and even competing at the district level, I expect to see some success with them. As far as the boys go, we are running once again in Class 3. We were Class 2 up until last year. Last year at the district meet, we went from about a 8th to 10th place ranking and ended up placing 4th. At the district meet, and this year we're looking at a lot of the same competition, and so far we've beat every district school that we've seen at our various meets across the state. So I'm hoping to see a top finish there again this year. So
you mentioned the Camdenton meet. Got to be happy with a meet like that. There are some pretty good schools in there, and it has to feel pretty good when you're on top of a school like Elias.
Yeah, it does. It does. And Elias has been a team that's consistently beat us throughout the years. So for us to be able to beat them with a pretty solid, a 29-point spread, that's a pretty good size win. Tristan Hensley is a sophomore, and he placed first overall in the Purple Division. And actually, when you compare what he ran to some of the bigger schools that were there, he was 5th overall. And then once again, we just saw some huge PRs. By all the runners on the team, as well as the fact that we're running. We had 4 boys that played soccer the night before, came in, ran for us, went back to Camdenton, played in the rest of the soccer game, and then went back again that evening and played the 3 o'clock game. So, we've got, of my 12 runners, 8 of them are dual sport athletes. So, they're doing double duty here, football, soccer, and softball and volleyball. So we've got a lot going on for all these kids.
Let's say I have some of the kids kind of listening in here as we're talking. How do you go about the typical day of practice without their egos getting a little bit too big after winning the Camdenton meet?
Well, all it takes is taking them out there on a long run, and their egos go down real quick, especially as it warms up and they're out there, on those long road runs. They're doing speed work. their egos can't grow too big, let me tell you.
What is the typical run for practice?
Well, if we run in the morning, typically we'll meet at 6 o'clock at different roads. You'll get, anywhere from a 2.5 to 4 mile run in. In the evening, like today, it's going to be just a road run. Yesterday we did an interval workout. Tomorrow will be an early morning practice. And Wednesday I get all my dual sport athletes. Now softball, I won't have them tomorrow because they have their first round of districts. But normally we then do some type of speed work after school on a day like that. We do 2 weeks of speed work, 2 days of speed work throughout the week. Then we'll do a long road run, a recovery run, some type of short sprint work on the day before a meet, which typically we run mostly on Saturdays. Saturdays are race and they get 1 day off, which is Sundays.
Over the course of the year, how many miles will they typically run each?
We're looking, they average between 30 and 40 during the week, so you're looking at however many weeks is in a season, 5 to 600 at least. That's on the low side, just per season. So you're looking, for some of these guys that run consistently through the winter, through the track season, and then through the summer, we put in, high mileage over the summer. You're looking at a couple thousand miles that they can technically, get in a year.
A lot of people out there probably don't even do that in a lifetime. Of course, we don't have the wide-angle lens on for me, and obviously that's a lot of running.
Yeah, it is. But in order to have the success that we've been able to get over the years, through the running program here at Osage, and the success that these guys want to, have set for themselves as far as their goals, that's what it's going to take, in order to be able to compete with the Eliases, with the Blair Oaks, the Herculaneums, the Rockbridge, the West Plains, of Missouri. And they've had good examples by going to some of the running camps that we attend and some of the meets. We see some of this good competition. I know that's what it's going to take to be at that level. One
final question, look ahead. How many kids are we looking at being at state?
I'd like to say all 12, but realistically, it's possible. It's very possible. I'd like to see, not shooting ahead, but setting goals. We set a goal that we want to be on that podium come districts, and I'd like to see, a high finish at the state meet. So I'd like to say we could take a whole boys team and take as many girls as possible. So.
I used to work down in Festus and Herculaneum, so go get those black hats.
No, that's right. We got to go get them. But they're class 2. But even so, we're coming close. In fact, at some of our meets, we're a lot closer than that we were a year ago. And all of our runners right now, I have one senior girl, and on our boys' side, it's all freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. So I'm going to have this full team back again next year.
Thanks for taking the time.
Oh, no problem. Enjoyed it.
Miriam Hill, the head coach of the Osage Cross Country program. We appreciate her time. Coming up, our final segment of the program on the Lake Area Chalk Talk.
What makes an Amana brand furnace so comfortable for your life? Simple. Our lifetime unit replacement limited warranty. Introducing premium gas furnaces from Amana brand. Amana. Last and last and last.
Quick Boat Car in Osage Beach. Wash, Detail, Lube. And now, Mobile Boat Detail.
And back on the Lake Area Chalk Talk, the final segment of the program. Just a couple of minutes left. We appreciate Coach Jeff Shore from the Camdenton Lakers coming in. Also, Osage Cross Country Coach Miriam Hill for talking to us. Again, we want to mention the sponsors for the program. Bootleggers Sportsbook and Grill, providing great food for the staff and the guests. You can get some too. Just stop by Bootleggers in Osage Beach. Also, Chris Wagner, State Farm Insurance, your sponsor of the halftime field goal kick at Osage. That field goal kick, $100 if you are good with the kick. Quick Car, all types of cleaning and detailing for your vehicles. And by Scott's Heating and Cooling, with the lower temperatures coming, now is a good time to call them up and get your heating system checked out. Let's take a look at the action going on this week as far as high school football is concerned in the Tri-County Conference. Warsaw will be taking on Osage. Actually, that game is being played in Warsaw. Osage with an undefeated record, Warsaw winless. It's Eldon at Blair Oaks, Versailles at Clinton, and Knob Noster will be at California. In the Ozarks Conference, Camdenton will travel to Joplin, Rolla at Hillcrest, Lebanon at Parkview, Waynesville will be at West Plains, Glendale at Ozark, and Nixa at Kickapoo in a couple of non-conference games. That will do it for this edition of the Lake Area Chalk Talk. Get out there, enjoy your favorite high school sport. Don't forget, the kids are performers for our enjoyment, and the officials are like you and I, putting their pants on one leg at a time. Give them a break if the call goes against you. There's always tomorrow. That'll do it. Thanks for joining us on the Lake Area Chalk Talk. Bootlegger Sportsbook and Grill in the Stonecrest Mall. Osage Beach is the sports headquarters at the lake with more than 20 flat screens with every game on. Home of Bootlegger's Idol every Thursday at 8 p.m. Also home of Dueling Pianos every Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. www.bootleggersgrill.com or call 573-348-1443. Bootleggers Sportsbook and Grill.
Hi, I'm Chris Wagner. Come visit me in Osage Beach for all your insurance needs. Farmers Insurance, helping you with anything in the playbook since 1928.